I'm Justin Mott and welcome to my home here in Hanoi, Vietnam. And if you're new here, my channel is dedicated to all things photography from the perspective of a full-time working professional photographer. And today we're going to sit down in my office. We're going to talk about the Leica Big 3, as I like to call them, the Leica SL, the Leica M, and the Leica Q system. I'm going to tell you my experience using each and the pros and cons of each, and then you can make an adult decision yourself whether it's worth it for you to buy them or not. So let's get into it and let's talk photography. Alright guys, as always, don't forget to check out my online store at justinmott.com, where I've got a variety of one-on-one classes to choose from that are aimed at helping you become a better photographer, aimed at all levels and photographers interested in all genres of photography. I've also got presets that will not make you a better photographer, but they will add some pop to your images. You can check all that out at justinmott.com. So today, I'm going to keep this a lot shorter than my other video I did many years ago, comparing the big three, or what I consider the big three, the Leica Q, the Leica SL, and the Leica M systems. I am not comparing these cameras to other camera systems. Just full disclosure on my experience, I started my career with the Leica M6. I've used the Leica M10D and the Leica M10 for my professional assignment work for the last 4 years. As far as the Leica Q and the Leica SL systems, I don't own them, but I have used them professionally. I borrow them for weeks at a time, several times, different versions of these cameras from the Q all the way up to the Q3, and the SL system the same. I've used the original SL and the SL2 and the SL2S on professional assignments and for weeks at a time. So let's start with the Leica Q system, sort of the gateway drug, people call that, your sort of introduction into the Leica system, being the most affordable Leica. This system is an all-in-one system, comes with a fixed lens. You can't interchange the lenses like you can with the SL system and the M system, so it's an all-in-one camera, an everyday camera. So the pros for this camera are it's quite lightweight compared to the other two. It's probably the most versatile out of the box. Well, it definitely is because it comes with a lens. The other two cameras don't. It can shoot video, but it's not great at video. It can shoot macro, but it's not great at macro. And because it comes with that 28 1.7 lens, I would say that's the best value of all three cameras, because if you were to equate that to a Leica M28 lens, a f2 Summicron, for example, that's going to cost you over $5,000. I know it's not the same, but it's similar. That f1.7 lens on the Q system is really, really sharp, and it's a really nice lens. So as far as versatility, out of the box, not that you can grow into, but out of the box, most versatile. As far as value, because you get that nice lens. As far as being lightweight and easy to carry around, those are definitely the pros. As far as the cons for me, it's not a great system to grow into professionally. Yes, there are people that use this camera professionally. I understand that. It's just not ideal for that with that fixed 28. And yes, with the high megapixel sensor, you can crop and make it a 35, make it a 50, make it a 75, make it a 90. I'm not into that. I've never used it that way. The most I'd want to crop that camera, because I don't like to do a lot of cropping in post-production, I would say would be 35. So if you're a 35mm shooter and you're a little bit scared off by that, I think it's not such a big deal. I'd still prefer it to be a 35. But it's not. And while it being lightweight is a pro, it's also a con for me because it does feel a little bit more flimsy compared to the other cameras. Not flimsy compared to other cameras, but compared to how robust the SL system feels in your hand, and compared to how solid and ergonomically perfect the M system is in your hand, I would say it's the worst of the three. But if you like a lightweight camera and you want an everyday camera, or you just want to carry one camera around, also the Leica Q system, a little bonus here for you two camera people, it's probably the best second camera option, and it has the most versatility as a second camera option, but that's a whole other discussion. So those are the pros and cons of the Leica Q system. All right, moving on to the Leica SL system. This comes in sort of two ways. You can buy the Leica SL2, which is a 50 megapixel sensor. So if you're into advertising, commercial work, or you just care about having a high megapixel camera, you can buy this option, or you can buy the Leica SL2S, something I'm more interested in, at 24 megapixels. It's a little bit cheaper, but it's a better low light camera. It's a better overall video camera. And I've printed with 24 megapixel files before, and it's really good. It's exceptional. So if that's your main sticking point, whether you're gonna print and print large, I don't think it's worth it to go that way. People wildly overestimate how often they're gonna be printing. Some people do. And so just factor that in before, I don't know, just something to think about. So the SL system, the pros are gonna be, it's the most professional camera in the Leica lineup. Just broadly speaking, it's the most professional feel in your hand. It has the most professional features. It's the best video camera in the Leica system, although that's not saying much because the Leica Q isn't really a great video camera and the Leica M doesn't shoot videos. However, I do feel like if the SL3 comes out next year, I feel like it's going to be a big upgrade. I have no inside information on this, but I feel like they're smart enough to make this camera, make a big leap in video capabilities on the Leica SL3. Has the most professional features in the build with 2 memory card slots, a more robust feeling in your hand, although that can be a pro for some and a con to others. But it is quite heavy and quite chunky in your hand. Value, I would say it sits somewhere between the M and the Q, ranging from $5,000 to $6,000, depending on the SL2, the SL2S, or if you buy it used. But as far as versatility that you can grow into professionally, that's where it really shines, because you can pick from the growing SL lineup that Leica seems to be investing in because they keep coming out with more and more lenses to choose from. Also, you can buy an adapter and use your existing Leica M lenses. So if you wanted to make this your occasional street photography camera, let's say you did commercial photography most of the time, but you like having an everyday camera that you can carry around that's not super heavy. It's not going to be as light as the Q or the M, but if you throw an M lens on it, it does become quite small. I've used it with an M series lens on it. It's quite nice. So it's a versatile camera in that regard. So I would say it has the most possibility for versatility. As far as the cons go, I would say it's quite hefty. So if you do have small hands, I would say I have like medium size hands and it feels fine for me. But if you had smaller hands, I could see this being a problem because it's quite a big and hefty camera. It's heavy and it's big. The reach is kind of big on it. The grip is kind of big on it. I like it, but for some, I've heard people complain. I could see why it would be a problem for some photographers to hold if you do have small hands. And as far as professional quality goes, I would say, yes, it's their most professional camera, but if you were to compare this camera to comparable other brand cameras, it still doesn't catch up yet with video capabilities. Although they are making gains, I think there's going to be a big leap. It's not quite there yet. And as far as autofocus goes, it doesn't compete with Sony yet at all. So comparing this camera professionally to comparable other cameras out there, yeah, it's not quite there. Although, again, like I said, I do think the SL3 is going to make a big leap. That's just my guess. So those are the pros and cons on the SL. Now let's move to my favorite camera, the camera I've used the most, the camera that I own, and that is the Leica M system, sort of the heritage of Leica, the iconic Leica, where it all started, and the design has barely changed over the years. That's because I think it's absolutely perfect. Let's go through the pros of the Leica M system. If you like a minimalist design, if you care about ergonomics and design, I've never had a camera that feels better in my hand, period, throughout my entire career. It's an iconic camera for a reason. So you couple that design, you couple that ergonomics, you couple that beauty and the build quality with access to the Leica M series lenses, which are small and compact, expensive, but they're compact, they're sharp, they have their own look to them. There are limitations because they are manual focus lenses, so I would put that in the con category for anyone out there that needs autofocus. But as far as build quality, as far as an iconic Leica, as far as what a Leica is to me, that's the Leica M system. I use it professionally. I would say in the cons category, if you don't have the eyesight for manual focus, yeah, then it's not the right camera for you. If you need autofocus for fast-moving action, it's obviously the wrong camera for you. As far as value goes, compared to the other two cameras, easily the worst value when you compare features to the price. The other cameras are coming in between $5,000 and $6,000. The Leica M11P, their latest and greatest M, is over $9,000. So that's just ridiculous for some. Another little hidden con in there is you have to defend this camera a lot. People come up to you and they hate it, or they comment on your YouTube channel all the time about, why would you buy that camera, blah, 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 blah. I don't mind defending it. You might. But those are some of the cons. But as far as overall, for me, it's the best camera for me because I can justify the cost because I use it so much. I care about ergonomics. I care about the design. I like that this camera forces me into a very minimalistic way of thinking in a very cluttered world and a very cluttered menu system for a lot of other cameras out there. It's a very simple camera that helps me focus on what's important, which is capturing beautiful pictures and being in the moment and capturing moments. So that might sound cliche to some, but it does make me slow down. I feel like it does make me a better photographer. That's not the case for all you guys out there. Again, I'm not here to tell you which camera system works for you or even to tell you which camera system works for a certain genre of photographer because I don't really believe in that. I know wedding photographers out there that use the Leica Q system. You might think that's crazy, but they do it well. Some other people would struggle with that. I've also seen people use an M camera on commercial assignments. I've seen people do street photography with a chunky SL2 with a 24-70 lens, and they also produce nice images. So we're all so different. Every camera system is different. Every photographer is different. I don't know what's right for you. I just wanted to tell you my experience with the pros and cons of each. Let me know what camera system is the best for you and why. I'd love to hear that in the comments section. I love hearing what kits you guys have and how you use them and why you picked this camera, this lens, or even which combination. For me, that's one of the beauties of the Leica system. That's what they've done so well, is that you kind of want a combination of two of these cameras to sort of complete like all the different types of photography that a lot of us do. Like for me, the best setup is, I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet, but I've used it like this quite a bit. The best setup for me is a Leica M10, and then also having a Leica SL system and a couple autofocus lenses just for certain assignments. That just makes sense for me professionally because I always need to have two cameras on me at all times. And so that offers me the most versatility. When I need autofocus, I can have it. When I need longer lenses or I need SL lenses, I can use that. When I just need a simple dial-down minimalistic camera, a lightweight camera for assignments and personal work, I can take my M and I can just have the SL as a backup. That's my updated version of the Leica Big 3 camera systems. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you really like the channel, consider joining for only $4.99 a month. You get a lot of free perks in there. It also helps out the channel. It's equivalent to like buying me a cup of coffee a month. So if you consider me worthy of buying a cup of coffee a month to me because you get something on this channel, consider doing so. If not, I don't hate you. I still love you. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to have a wonderful day.